So in this lab, we're going to be practicing naming ionic compounds. We'll also be looking at some of the reactivities of different ions. So when ions react, a lot of times they form a precipitate or a solid in a test tube. And so we are going to observe that today. You can read through this. It's got a really great explanation of precipitation reactions here. Now we're going to go to the procedure and we're going to see the virtual chem lab. So we're going to open up our virtual chem lab, and then we're going to select the names and formulas of ionic compounds from the drop-down list. So if we go to reactions and stoichiometry, there's the names and formula of ionic compounds. Okay, and so here's our friendly and organic lab. It says double click on a test tube from the box on the stockroom counter to place it on the test tube stand. So we are going to double click, and there it is on the test tube stand. Then it says click on the bottle of silver metal ion solution on the shelf and add it to the test tube. Click on the divide tube at the bottom 4 times to make 4 additional test tubes containing silver. So we've got our test tube there. We want to put silver in, and this is the divide test tube. So we can make 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to take that silver ion here, and we're going to react it with sodium sulfide and see what forms. Okay, and then we're going to take it with another test tube, the silver, and react it with sodium chloride and see what forms. Then we'll take the third test tube of silver and we'll react it with sodium sulfate to see what forms. And the 5th test tube of silver, we'll react it with sodium hydroxide to see what forms. And then in the 5th test tube, we'll react it with sodium carbonate to see what forms there. So that's what you're going to do with all your test tubes. You're going to do this for silver, and then you'll repeat it for lead, calcium, iron, and copper 2+. If the test tube remains clear, that means no reaction has happened, and you're going to put in NR in the box for no reaction. See, so it says here, if the solutions remain clear, record NR for no reaction. If the solution doesn't remain clear, if there's a precipitate, if it forms a white color or a black color or a brown color or a pink color, then you need to write the color it forms in the box. You need to write the chemical formula in the box, and then you need to name it. And remember your Roman numerals, okay? And so you've got 25 boxes here that you're going to work on. And that's what that question says here. Each cell should include a description of what you observed, when the reagents were mixed, right? So if there's a precipitate, tell what color the precipitate was, the correct chemical formula, and name for all solutions which turn cloudy. Now, if it stayed clear, then all you have to do is put an NR, because there wasn't a complex that formed, okay? So just kind of FYI, and then you need to answer this question, did you notice any patterns? So let's look at the first one where we're going to take the silver, right? And then we are going to react it with sodium sulfide. And so we come over here and we see the sodium sulfide, and we're going to react it. And we see the formula that it forms is Ag2S, or silver sulfide. So in this box, we would write that there was a brown or black precipitate, kind of depending on what kind of grayish actually. So there's a gray precipitate. The formula is Ag2S, and the name is silver sulfide. Remember, spelling counts, so make sure that you spell things correctly. And so that would go in that box there. Once you're done with that test tube, you can just move it here and dispose of it. You pull up the next test tube and you go to the next thing. So silver chloride would be the next one. So we come over here, we click silver chloride, that's got a white precipitate, and you just work through all the different ions to see their reactivity and to see what they form.